the weeks since, I wouldn't even begin to imagine. Jeremy, it's not the circumstances we wanted to share with you on Players' Night, but it's great to see you, and thanks for coming in.
No worries. Thanks for having me, Jeremy. Cheers, boys.
And Jack Riewoldt, oh, you've ruined your television. Good looks, Jack.
Yeah, copped a whack, but we were comparing scars upstairs before, and I can tell you right now, the man sitting across me on the table here has got a couple of absolute zippers on him. But I mean, it's just good to have half of the table as Tasmanian tonight out here. It's
very nice.
Very, very good to be here.
I feel like we can have a little bit of fun with you, given that you are all right. I don't quite feel the same way with your story, Jeremy. Just give us a snapshot of what the last 5 weeks have been like for you.
I guess for me, I found it really challenging. Certainly, it's probably been the most difficult experience for me since I've been in the AFL system in terms of injury, I guess. Yeah, obviously had the original surgery, all went really well. Like, they were extremely happy with it, but given there was a compound fracture, there's always a chance of an infection. So I checked out 3 days post, and probably by that Thursday, I really started working that I probably wasn't right. I started kind of, obviously sweating a lot, but I was obviously severely dehydrated, started losing my mind a little bit at home. So the call was to go back in, and yeah, sure enough, had an infection from the ground, obviously where the bone had gone through, and thankfully we got it in time, and they worked extremely hard, and 4 surgeries later, and I'm back to feeling like I'm normal.
So 4 surgeries in how many days? 11.
So yeah, they just kind of called a washout. So obviously in the backside of my arm, that was just remained open for pretty much the whole time I was in hospital. So they just kind of keep covering every day, and every 3rd day I was in there, I was going back in for another procedure just to wash it out and to make sure I got the all clear, with the expectation that I wouldn't have to go back in and I wouldn't experience another infection. And thankfully, they did an amazing job, and I'm back to running, which is really pleasing.
The physical part of it, how gruelling's the mental side of those 11 days?
Yeah, I guess for me, it was like, and Jack can reiterate as well, like, we're in an entertainment business where people see the 2.5 hours on field, what we really enjoy. And when things like this happen, that's probably the dark side of the sport as well. And I just found the isolation part in hospital was really challenging for me. The club were great. I had people come in, Fly was huge, Righty was in, and players came in and saw me, but I suppose it's the inability to do what you normally do. You can't pick your kids and stuff up. You can't really do much. You're on your back for 23 hours a day. But yeah, we got through there, and the support's been amazing, not only from the footy community, friends and family has been through the roof, and extremely grateful for those people, because I'm in a good place now.
So just talk us through what a day would look like, what you had to go through in terms of not being able to move, the medication, all that type of stuff. I would imagine it's like nothing you would ever have thought that would happen after a broken arm.
No, certainly not. You've broke bones before, where you just assume it's a pretty standard procedure if you do have to have surgery. But yeah, what comes with an infection is something that I haven't been exposed to. I know my brother had an infection probably 10 years ago now, but yeah, it's probably the medication that you could get put on, the IV drips that you're constantly on, your bloods that you get taken every single day, and the constant check-ins that they obviously you're under constant observation, given that what you've been through. So yeah, the nurses and the doctors in there did a tremendous job. They certainly they certainly should take a lot of positives out of the way they treated me. They got me through it for sure, and like I said, I've bounced back and I'm in a good spot now.
Have you watched footy in that time? Was that something that you still would watch and try and get away from the stuff you're dealing with?
He just told me upstairs, you've asked him, he was watching the end of the game in the ambulance towards the hospital. He got the Ambo's phone and he was watching the end of the game. He was on the whistle. On the whistle.
Just to confirm, I wasn't holding the phone.
He wasn't holding the phone.
Still not allowed to.
Someone holding the phone for
I was watching the game, because by that stage I got obviously given some good pain relief. And I thought, why not watch the end of the game? I was in a state of mind where I wasn't in any pain anymore, but thankfully the boys got it done, and they've been pretty good to watch of late.
You're not allowed to hold a phone, is that what you said?
Well, I don't think... Technically, I'm probably still not allowed to, because the game was still alive.
Oh, right, sorry, yeah. I think you physically now.
No. Last time... Last time I grabbed a phone, I got done for 20 grand at the club. I was going to do my knee.
Could you just take us to the actual moment? You are maybe the most graceful high flyer I've seen in my time watching the game. In your mind, what went wrong?
Yeah, so it's pretty clear for me. I think, I understood that Stengel was coming back with a flight, and I reckon when I went to jump for the ball, I actually turned my body to the side. I could have quite easily have driven my knee straight into the back of him. So I turned to the side, and what actually happens, I look up, and towards the MCC, there's almost like the row of spotlights that go around the whole side. Stared straight into that, hence why I blatantly just kind of missed the ball. By the time I flipped upside down, I looked for the ground. And at that stage, when I've looked into the light, you look for the ground to where you think it is, you get kind of that blank space. I reckon that's probably where I relax and I don't find the ground. And then when I obviously try and push for it again, yeah, my arm's the first thing to go. Like I heard the snap pretty blatantly. But yeah, my shoulder was in a bit of pain to start with, but then obviously, yeah, looking down, I kind of realised what I'd done. There
is that sinking feeling a little bit when you sort of, I reckon once you get past horizontal, and as you're saying, you're trying to find the ground, you start sort of scrambling a little bit in your own mind of where it is to find it. But broken arm.
Yeah.
What's any other injuries from obviously what is a pretty catastrophic fall?
Yeah, well, obviously my elbow tried to dislocate and it didn't, so that's why I kind of broke my arm. And then, yeah, obviously hurt my shoulder on the way down as well. So, yeah, did a few things at once, but given the time recovery and what probably the time frame looks like for me, it's probably the motor control and the hand therapy that's going to get me back. The bone, like I said, Andrew Oppie did an amazing job on the bone and put in what was required, and that's going to be fine in a few weeks. But the trauma within the inside of my forearm is what's going to take me a long time to get back.
So have they likened it to something for you?
Oh, car accident's obviously the one thing that comes to mind, given there was just so much trauma on the one side of my body. But I think the way that I've recovered from the last surgery that I had has been really pleasing. I haven't had any issues with it. I've had a really good 10-day block since I've been back out. And like I said, like even just getting moving, getting running and playing with the ball at the club and that just kind of make me feel pretty like I'm almost getting back to normal. I'll be running fit. It's just a matter of trying to get used to balls and that, and how long that takes is hard to say.
Are you nervous about the unknown of that?
Yeah, I guess when you start talking about nerve damage and stuff like that and how long that comes back, I feel like the way that I'm progressing, I'm not too concerned. I know it'll come back, but how long that takes, I'm not too sure. But then, like I said, the way that I'm kind of handling it and the hand therapist and what she's been able to provide for me has been really pleasing so far.
So Craig McRae told us that he'd looked at the X-ray and thought, well, that looks like a cartoon image. It's so ridiculous.
Yeah.
Did you go through a phase where you wondered, is when you look at it again, am I going to get back to play elite sport? A bit like Pappenhausen for the Storm and just the catastrophic damage to his kneecap. You sort of go, how on earth could you get back? Have you had that inner turmoil at all?
I guess, like, I've never had a severe break or anything like that before, but the clarity that I was provided from the surgeon was enough for me that the bones and that are going to come back and they'll be fine. So the strength in my arm, like even doing like small arm weights and stuff at the club, like it's amazing how quickly I feel confident within that already. But like I said, it's the range of movement and the motor control that's probably going to be the issue for me. And hopefully it comes back sooner rather than later.
What about lining the tattoo up? Did they get that right?
Yeah, well, look, like I said, Andrew Oppie did an amazing job the first time. He goes, once you get an infection, the care factor to what they look like kind of goes out the window. Yeah. So, but I still think they've done all right. So, but we'll see how we go.
And this is the thing that people won't understand going forward is when you have a bone infection, like I've had a smaller sort of bone infection similar to what you've had. It's not a course of antibiotics over 2 weeks, is it? This is a year journey now, isn't it?
Yeah, so I'll be on antibiotics for the rest of the year, and then I'll get the plates taken out.
Yeah.
Because generally, if you have an infection with any type of metal, you've got to get it removed. So I'll contemplate. That'll definitely have to happen. But if I get back and play with the plates in, and then end of the year get them taken out, and I'll be fine. So apparently the bone comes back stronger post snap. So with 4 in there, should be pretty strong.
It's amazing. Do you have a calendar somewhere up at home with a ring on it anywhere?
I've got a bit of like an inside one. It's Sidey's 300th in 7 weeks. I would love to make that, but I think that's clutching at straws a little bit. But if I get back to play at any stage, I'll be really happy. And I know the club have been super supportive in that aspect as well. So we'll just give it the respect it needs and then treat the rehab as good as I can and hopefully get back.
What does your off-field role look like? Because you're a pretty smart footballer and have had a big impact leadership-wise. What does
Yeah,
it
I
look
think-
like for you? Because you love footy. How do you feel the void of not playing?
Yeah, I guess soon as post hospital, I try to take a breath for a little bit. So I took a week off just to kind of spend with the fam. But then straight back in, and I'll get my hands dirty with the coaches. Like I said, I love watching plenty of footy. I love being involved with the coaching staff as well. Something that I potentially might go into post footy, but. Yeah, I'll have to get in. I love it. I still feel like I've got influence when I don't play, so I'll be back in there running, but also helping them on the sidelines.
Thanks for sharing all of that with us, Jeremy.